And a quick question that Praneshri Didi is, do you have those 4 slokas that we had last time?
Yes,
if you have
Maharaj.
them in a way that we can just quickly download them, then we'll be
I'm going
able to start our day the way we said that we would that time.
Yes, Maharaj.
All right, just give me.
I'm going to share them.
I'll be with you in 15 seconds. As you share it, the devotees can see. Okay, I am with you. So, Krishna, 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 hey. Nothing on the calendar. We had so many things on the calendar, and then we have nothing on the calendar for all the way through till the 11th of December. Just see. We had many things. Sometimes it rains. When it rains, it pours. Some expression like that. I'm not sure. Jeevana, how are the Chinese section? You're doing the Zoom to China, right?
Yeah, we have a Zoom to China exactly at this time tomorrow. It's actually their Monday.
Okay.
Seeing if I thought I'd just check with Janardamar, see if maybe they could also call into this class. It seems like it's kind of a good time for them. We had a hard time getting a perfect time with them with their work schedules and all.
I'm sure. And what about translation?
And then often Sulakshana is there and she translates.
Okay.
Also,
she's a soldier.
She's a soldier. But Sita also could translate and Ananda also could translate, but they're more shy.
Okay. But give them some opportunity is good.
Yeah.
All right. I don't see anything in the chat box. Did you put something there, Praneshwari?
No, Maharaj, because I saved it in the wrong file and couldn't find it, so I just copied. And now I have it.
Oh, okay, don't worry, don't worry. I didn't know if I was missing something. In the meantime, we can do mini Vandanam, and you know the one verse which covers everything. If we think about it, one verse of Vandanam which covers everything is the first verse. Vandeham Shri Guru. So let us chant that verse, then the verse to Guru, Om Agyana Timarandasya, then to the Vaishnavas, Vanchakalpatarubhischa, then to Mahaprabhu, Namo Mahavadanyaya. So let us do this as we're getting our Bhagavad Gita verses together. So slowly together. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha. Then Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Then Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratrijay Namaha. Then we can add one more, Kaler Dosha Nide Rajan. So together, Kaler Dosha Nide Rajan. Next line, Kaler Dosha Nide Rajan. Oh, Asti Hekamahantunaha Kirtanat Eva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Parang Rajat. Then Panchatattva Mahamantra and Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So at least some introduction and some invocation rather at the beginning to the Lord in his Mahaprabhu form and his associates, including the 6 Goswamis, and the Lord in his Krishna form and his associates headed by Radharani and the Sakhis. And then to Guru, then to Vaishnavas, and then to Mahaprabhu specifically, and then reminding ourselves of Krishna Kirtan being the great treasure of this age. And welcoming Deva Priya Devirasi from San Jose also. Welcome, Deva Priya Didi.
Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat everyone.
Dandavat, Dandavat. All right. So in the text box, we have a 15 kilobyte file and all very organized, Didi, very good. So as we mentioned last week, we'll recite these as a kind of a regular recitation, but we'll chant these also at this time at the beginning of our program. So have you downloaded or opened what's in your chat box? 4 verses from Bhagavad Gita. So we say them. Do you have, everybody? Yes? Okay, good. Shakira. Jivana, have? Do you have the verses, Jivana? No. Yes? Maybe. Oh, very good. Oh my goodness, so efficient, Praneshwari. This is why you are a teacher. All right. Amazing. It made it a full page also on my computer screen. Very efficient. All right, so let us chant these 4 verses together. So 3, 2, 1. Na tveva ham jatu nashang na tvang neme jana dipaha na chaiva na bhavishyama sarve vayam ata param. And then the next verse coming up. Yes. Slowly together. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumarang yauvanang jara tatha dehantara praptir dhiras tatra namuyati. And the next verse together. Mam upetya punarjanma dukalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanaha sangsidhing paramangataha. And one more verse together. Abrahma bhuvanal lokaha punar avatinurjuna mamupetya tu kaunteya punar janma na vidyate. Hare Krishna. Very good. And please don't neglect all the verses of Bhagavad Gita. I mean, every verse, as we know from Srila Gurudev. And we'll just, if you like, Praneshri, you can read for us kindly. You read for us the translation of these verses. If you can, kindly.
Maharaj, Jivana Didi, I will put the screen so she can read it. She reads so beautifully. So she inspires.
Okay, we're all in agreement, happily, of course. But you have to turn your microphone on, Jeevana. Kindly, humbly asking you. Thank you.
How about if we share it? I can read 2 and you can read 2.
There are only 4 verses, Jeevana.
This is very, very difficult. So in chapter 2, the verses are, I have it.
The first one is 2.12.
212. 212. Okay. I am right here. I'm on it. I'm all over it.
So it's 2:12 and 2:13.
Okay. $2.12. Is this the day he knows man, or is that 2:13? Oh,
that's 2:13. It's the one before.
That's
Never was a time. Yeah.
Okay. Never was there a time when you, I, or all these kings did not exist. Just as we exist in the present, so we have existed in the past and shall continue to exist in the future. As the living being passes through the bodily changes of childhood, youth, and old age, it similarly attains another body at death. The wise are not deluded by this.
And then chapter 8, verses 15 and 16.
Got it, okay. The souls who become my associates in my divine pastimes, having reached me, are never again born into transitory existence, which is the abode of suffering. O Arjuna, from the plane of Lord Brahma downwards, all planes or their residents are subject to return. But, O Kuntiya, there is no rebirth after reaching me.
Right.
That is super awesome.
4 of many essential verses of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is amazing all the way through, from the first reading to reading forever, as Srila Gurudev pointed out in his very late pastime days. We are there really with his heart saying, Bhagavad Gita, I've been reading Bhagavad Gita my whole life. Every time I read, still new light is coming. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. So Praneshwari, we have someone in the waiting room. I don't know.
There is a telephone number.
Maybe.
And I suppose is
Chintamani.
But she's already in.
Ah, okay. Mm-hmm. Odd things do happen in Zoom sometimes, which unfortunately we find out. Hare Krishna. Okay, Jai. That's not Jai Dev's voice, I know that. Jai Dev and Chintamani.
When she talks, it's just like a bell.
Jai, welcome. Happy to have you with us. So
happy to be here.
Okay, super. So we're in Zoom and we try to keep it all interactive rather than being like a school classroom or something. So I want to start today after our reading of the Gita slokas, etc., just now, and touching base with each other. So I have a question for you all. That is there something that you wish that we cover, or something which like stands out to you that you would like to share with us? Something that like a realization. I'm not talking about seeing Krishna face to face as you walked around the corner or something, but like a realization of anything, some extra understanding that came to you this week. Because we're all reading, we're all practicing, we're all doing something, and things do jump out at us. Has anything jumped out at anybody this week? No. Yes.
Yes, to me. Can I say something, Maharaj?
Okay, yes, Ramananda Prabhu. We'll come to you soon, Shakira. Yeah. Ramananda Prabhu, tell us something.
Yeah, I was listening Param Guru Maharaj's lecture. So he was telling we have to look for Krishna's interest. Because we are servants, we are aspiring slaves, and we have to look his Krishna's interest. What we belong to Krishna, and we serve his interest. So could you explain
Krishna's interest, yes.
Yes.
Okay, that sounds good to me. We need to look for Krishna's interest. Right, and actually we hear these things. We're in this environment where we are listening to the classes, we're seeing classes, we're reading the books, and many things for us, they seem like, oh, we hear them so many times, but we're not thinking it properly. But Krishna's interest is, if we see that, that is the nature of the world. They're only thinking of Krishna's interest. Okay, Ramanandaru, Krishna's interest, this is Krishna consciousness. This is what we need. I hope it's okay. It says my internet is unstable. I'm sorry.
You're fine, you're fine.
Am I fine? Okay. Shakira Diri, please.
Unmuting. Thank you. So Maharaj, with everything I've been reading or being exposed to so far, the only thing that one of the things I've noticed is that it teaches you, like devotional service or the shlokas or this pastimes and that. But it seems for me, I could be wrong, that the only thing that doesn't have anything to say of how you should be doing it is, your heart that has to be pure. And that's the only thing you can really offer Krishna. Something that doesn't have, there isn't like, how to do it and that, but it's just something that if through purity or just something that, that's for me the only thing that I was coming across, that I was contemplating on. Oh, okay. So this is the thing that we have to work on, but there's no rules to work on it. It's something that's just natural that you give up what's in your heart. So that was what came to mind when you were asking the question.
Right. Internal recognition, we could say, something like that.
Yes.
Like from inside. And you've reminded me of, you know this verse, Nahi kalyana krit kashchit durgating tata gachchiti. We hear this coming from Gurudev and coming from Guru Maharaj like repeatedly. It's one of these very common verses about sincerity, that we ourselves have to be, need to look and be sincere what we're doing, not to do something just because we've now got into the habit of doing it. So it becomes like automatic, and then we're not really putting our heart into it.
Yes.
But when we're doing things with sincerity, then everything is going to fit into place.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to find a little excerpt, which for me, I want to read now from what you've said. So can I ask others also, is anybody else got something that they're bursting to come out with and say, yes, I read this week, or I saw this week? Praneshwari knows. Oh, I think I mentioned it at our last Back to Basics. Praneshwari was with us in London yesterday. So she knows one that I thought was very humorous from Srila Prabhupada. But I have mentioned it a couple of times over the last few days. I'm not sure if we mentioned it in our Back to Basics. But the one about the car and the putting fuel in the car?
No, you had to tell us here.
Okay. This is really a funny one. It's from a Back to Godhead article. I mean, from a long time ago by Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada, he was saying about the man in the motor car, which we relate to all the time, that we're not the car is the vehicle, the body is the vehicle. We are in the body, we're the living entity. But in this one, then Srila Prabhupada, he saying how we are not the body, and the man, he's driving the car, and the car's fuel, his nourishment is petrol. But if the man, he's thinking, oh, I'm the car, and man starts to drink petrol because he's the car, then everyone will think he's crazy. He'll think he's a madman. You know, so Srila Prabhupada is saying this in relationship, you know, as we know, that we are not the body is like our car. So we are giving some rice, dal, sabji, we're giving some food for the fuel for the body. But what is the nourishment for the person in the body? And this is Harikatha, Harinama, Sankirtan, and association, seva. This is the nourishment for the driver of our car, which is ourselves. So I thought, yes, adding that extra thing that you won't you won't drink petrol if you drive in the car. So we need to give nourishment to the person in the body. Srila Prabhupada was very humorous. Even though the devotees around him may not have recognized it, but we are very happy to read his articles. Jivana knows.
Well, you said something nice in that regard not too long ago also about, because sometimes people say, why do we say the same prayers and the same songs and we say the same thing day after day after day? And you said, well, don't we eat breakfast every day? Don't we eat lunch every day? And it's just like that. It's like food to make the soul stronger and stronger. I thought that was a really helpful example.
Right. I mean, it's the facts of life. It's the facts of our internal life. And this has been given to us by our masters. They don't say just once a week or once, every on festival days you do this and every other time you do other things. No, they're giving us our daily food. And advertising is working on the similar principle, but in the mundane sense. Every day you see that this soap washes whiter than the other soap. So, you're then going to the shop and buying that soap. And even though I haven't watched a soap and a commercial, I mean, I don't know, many, many years, but I'm sure it's still new, improved. They didn't get it right in the 1960s or the 1970s or the 80s or the 90s, but it's new, improved washing powder. Get whiter than white. Hare Krishna. That's on the good side. And on the other side, there's the news, which is always the worst and the worst. Govinda, Govinda. Yes. So no drinking petrol. From anybody else? Chintamani, you've always got something. You're a lively preacher as well as a lively participant, doer, chanter. Maybe she's not in a convenient place to. Yes, Chintamani.
I don't know if you can hear me. Our connection is not so good when I try to talk. So I just listen where we are.
Okay, we can hear you now. If you've got a little something you like to share.
I mean, what can I share? I just know that I need to somehow or other get the Association of Vaishnavas and get their association. And I just have a lot of appreciation for the followers, the sincere followers of Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, and all of Lord Chaitanya's wonderful family. And I don't really have anything to share. I'm just like fired up to hear you all. And I love hearing you. So thanks so much, Madhusudana Maharaj, for having this opportunity just for us to come and get some sadhu sangha with some wonderful Vaishnavas.
Happily. And it's Praneshwari who's made the opportunity. We are all coming together because she's a good organizer. So anyway, but you see, you've made a point yourself also in this expression. I mean, really to have the association of like-minded souls, those who are in the same goal, if you like. And actually on that side, we can say that Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu has given us What is the best association for us? And the three qualities we want to try to associate, we want to associate with those who are in the same ambition as us. This means the same line, who've got that same appreciation. So those who have the same goal, we're going to that goal. Number two, that they are more advanced than us, means that they've got more experience about obstacles that come up and how to get over the obstacles, this, that, and the other. So with more experience than ourselves. So is the second. And the third is that they may be all of these things, but they are favorably disposed towards me. In other words, they're a willing helper to me, rather than somebody can be very knowledgeable, they can be in the same line, they can have so much experience, but they're not really willing to give the time or attention or whatever it is. They're not necessarily my well-wisher. So if we can find those three qualities, then that's the best association for us. And of course, for us, we had, you can say, the king of all of this means Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj. We're all under the banner of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Guru Maharaj. And then what was Srila Govinda Maharaj's identity? I mean, his 100% identity was that he is giving us Guru Maharaj as well as Nitai Gauranga, Radha Krishna. He's giving us Guru Maharaj, you know, exactly our family, exactly where we aspire to be and praying for. And no doubt about how senior to everybody he was, with a lifetime since he was a teenager of experience, closely serving Guru Maharaj, closely associating with Guru Maharaj. And then third quality, how generous he was to all of the devotees, how much wanting the benefit of others, really neglecting his own comfort, his own health, his own anything and everything, his own, you know, anything for his own, we can say, neglecting himself. And we lived with him 24 hours a day. We saw his life. So this is the family we've come to. We've come to their caring guidance and guardianship. So the point you bring up, Chintamani, we appreciate that very much. Hare Krishna. And really, Gurudev was selfless, absolutely selfless, but not selfless and not utilizing things, but he was Guru Maharaj full. He was full of Guru Maharaj, Srila Sridhar Maharaj. Hare Krishna. And, oh, well, I have a quote. I was going to give a quote, right? This is something which maybe for me earlier than this was very, very encouraging, and thinking we have to look in ourselves and then make some sincerity. And then sometimes, like I mentioned just now, sometimes we do get into a routine of our devotional activity, rather than, you know, consciously going forwards. For instance, when we join the temple, for those of us who join the temple, you can say we are consciously making a step to go and live with a bunch of people in a small room, get up early in the morning and have cold shower and do all the things that, you know, we had to do when we joined the temple. You know, it's a conscious decision to change from one life to another life. So, you know, we're taking it seriously and trying to think, you know, the right thing and feel the right thing, etc. But this is very good reminder for us, because, oh, what have I done?
Uh-oh. Did we lose Maharaj?
Dandwa Jeevana Didi, this is Ram. Sorry to hear about your mom. When you coming back?
What's that?
I said, when you coming back to?
I'm back.
You're back?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah, I
He's
asked
back.
Sureshwari the other day. She said, you're going to stay a little while. Thanks. Welcome back.
It was my fault. I accidentally, I was putting the tablet and I accidentally touched the escape button. So excuse. It was a user error. I have no, I cannot blame the environment. Okay, so what I'm reading from, it is the book that we're reading from here in the evenings each time. And that's why I came to the front. But it's a centenary anthology by Srila Guru Maharaj. And there are hidden treasures in there, by the way. I mean, everywhere there are beautiful hidden treasures. But this, following on from Shakira's comment or her observation, her inspiration this week, I'll read you just a short, very short, it's 2 paragraphs, but it's a little difficult to see here. It's 2 paragraphs only. And Guru Maharaj is, so Srila Shri Ramash is speaking. And the question is this from a devotee. So Jai Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai. And the reading is, questioner, I wanted to inquire as how to recognize Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu. Because many gurus, many scriptures, many holy men, as it were. So I wanted to inquire as to how to recognize Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu. Guru Maharaj replies, he says, we receive confirmation from our heart's approval, our inner approval. We must trace it to there, because that took me to my Guru. Guru is all in all, but who took me to my Guru? It was my inner sentiment. It was my inner guide. It did not like anything else in the environment, but instead selected that advice. And Guru Maharaj, many others do not care to come here, and many may ridicule this life. But what made me come here? I cannot deprecate that internal approval, consciousness, and sincerity. Therefore, that is an important factor. And ultimately, we have to depend on that internal consciousness the most. When collecting advice from the scriptures, and when seeking or relying on advice from a sadhu, the only thing that takes me there is my internal approval, my inner friend. If it were not for that, I would not have come. Indeed, so many others do not come. So who has taken me to this plane? And then this is, because what you were saying, then this is this verse. Nahi kalyana krit kashchit durgating tata gachati. One who sincerely wants real good can never be deceived. When one is a real seeker of the truth, he can never be deceived. And then just a short bit. Krishna says, and this is classic Guru Maharaj taking the mood of Krishna and saying, Krishna says, my dear boy, one who is sincerely hankering after the truth can never come across misfortune. If apparently some misfortune comes to visit him along the way, that is to enhance his position for his improvement. I should stop reading, but I like to keep on reading. Some sort of
beautiful.
Yeah, a little bit more. I wasn't going to read so much, but a little bit more.
No, read until the end because it's the whole answer to the question, Maharaj.
I know, but then there's more. There's more things. There's many more pages to read after that too. Then Guru Maharaj is not now taking Krishna's voice, but he's talking Guru Maharaj's voice. So Guru Maharaj is saying, some sort of danger may come on our way, but if we are sincere, it will be as a test to us. And when we will overcome that, it will be an addition to our glory. The temptations will be rejected and disarmed, but they will plead for us again. But they will plead for us. They'll come again and say, oh, no, 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 don't ignore me. So sincerity, sincere hankering after the truth is needed if we are to go further. And that is made of Sukriti, the grace of the divine agents who, by their nature, are wandering through this cursed land to help others who may not even know they are being helped. Hare Krishna. This whole idea that we need to always look with our sincere, like our internal eye. Even Guru Maharaj is saying, our friend, because he brought me here. Our conscience and our consciousness brought us here. And so we always need to like reflect from inside and reevaluate, reaffirm what we're doing and why we're doing. So all of these are like very also again the foundation things for us to keep ourselves awake and alert and nourished properly, that we are getting the substantial nourishment and not just the formality of eating something, but there's something we are not properly like digesting. Hare Krishna. Anyway, for me, that was something which I was thinking, oh yes, we must always be looking inside as well and praying. We had a very beautiful...
Because you brought that up.
Ajivana, yes?
I was just going to say, because you had brought that up because you were talking about how sometimes we get into like a routine and how to...
yes, also. Yes.
So not to let the routine become just dull, but to be trying to be always alert and conscious of what we're doing.
And
we had a very beautiful evening program here the other day. Well, every day, you can say. But then we just, between us, we just felt, oh, if the atomic bomb will land now and we all leave our body at this moment, I wonder, we're thinking, oh, Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, they just pick us and take us to their plane, because we had a very Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, like very close, felt very close evening program here the other day. And we thought, oh, now the bomb can drop on us. We are not, we are not unhappy. We're ready to go. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. That was so beautiful.
Well, thank you for bringing up this idea, reminding us of this.
Maharaj, I have a question about that.
Yes.
How do you adjust that your inner guidance with the Gurudev, with Guru's guidance, if they clash, you know, we thought we should follow the Guru and do what he says, and then we have that internal Guru telling us have some doubts or different feelings.
Well, Deva Predida, I have to think about that one in the sense of we hope that we don't clash too much in like a different feeling. But what I can share is something that Gurudev told, and he didn't only say to me, but he discussed this at different times. And he said that everything I am is for Guru Maharaj, but I am my own person. And sometimes I had some different opinion than Guru Maharaj on some matter. Basically, it was on some matter for running the temple, etc. But Gurudev said, and sometimes I followed my opinion, and then I always got into difficulty and had to come back to Guru Maharaj. So we can understand that, I mean, Gurudev so open that he's saying such a thing, but we can think that we do have our independent thinking. In one sense, we have our nature, and so our opinion about a particular situation may be different, but we will always defer to Guru's opinion. And this way we can think, yes, I would have done it this way. And this is natural in this world. You get like 5 devotees together and you say, okay, now we want the 5 of you to like build this wall or something, and something, quite straightforward. And you're going to have differences in how to build the wall between 5 different devotees. That's why there is some kind of a structure that you're going to have. Okay, you're in charge of building the wall. You 4 are assisting, and then everybody can make their contribution. But who is responsible for the wall will be sort of one person. And hence you have a temple manager, and then this and this. It's not that somebody is going to be the all-controlling boss, but in service, we have to have some structure. Otherwise, some of the wall, I can photograph a wall here. I can photograph a wall nearby. If I remind myself and show you next time, what a higgledy-piggledy wall. It looks like about 10 different people put it together, and all in their own way. Some collected some stones, some bricks, some this, and they made this wall. But anyway, essentially, Guru is the guide. Guru knows what we are to be doing. And so we will be a good soldier in his army. And whatever we may think, we need to try to follow the Guru's guidance. And I think that in general, nobody is going to have any different opinion as, for our spiritual journey. But the differences come up, in how to do something. Then devotees may think, it's better if I did this way. And everybody has an opinion, but Guru's opinion is best. And as Gurudev said, when I didn't follow Guru Maharaj and I followed my own idea, I always got into difficulty. So Gurudev saying, then I understand, I must follow Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj's, decision. But then Guru Maharaj, in our time, in the later years, he's saying to us, if I say something, if I give some opinion of how to do something, and Govinda Maharaj gives a different opinion, you follow Govinda Maharaj. That was Guru Maharaj in his later years. He handed everything over to Gurudev and saw his capacity to manage, to look after things.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you. But can you just a little bit more? I just need a little bit more. I was more feeling like making a progress, not like contradicting, but something that not about different opinion. It's more like Gurudev's taking us holding us for the hands and guiding us, and then how, you know, and how do we make a progress and go on a higher level if we constantly holding someone by the hand? I know the guru is that guide, but sometimes to have a progress, we have to let go and go somewhere else. I don't know. It's just, sorry, just trying to find that that eternal. Sorry if I.
No, it's good, because also means we're thinking inside and we are aware we're on a journey, but we must be also happy, feeling fulfilled with where we are, in the sense of we look around and think, am I doing the right thing? Am I in the right place? And so when we can tick this, yes, I am doing the right thing. I am in the right place. I'm talking about not necessarily physically. I'm talking about the right place, you know, mentally, spiritually, the activities that we're doing. And then we can say, like we mentioned before, but every day we're having breakfast and lunch and dinner. Every day we're resting, etc. Then this is our everyday cultivation of our devotional life. And we do have freedom, and you're living there in San Jose. I mean, it's a part of the world where you have to be conscious that you're a devotee rather than just go with the flow, because the flow, you know, is very, I mean, in my very limited experience of the flow there in San Jose is very material, very materialistic. So we do have to be conscious about things like this. And really, if we think that we're making, you know, think that we're advanced and now I've had a glimpse of Krishna, we need to start to, you know, think, oh, be careful about everything. We want to always stay in the lower position. And even if really Krishna comes to give us some revelation, still we're going to stay, oh, no, I stay here. This is my service point, and I must be very cautious about any, you know, realizations, as it were, that may come to us. We are safe with Guru. This is the main thing. And we saw Gurudev's life. He always had his feet on the ground, even though he was in another plane. I mean, really, he was in another plane. It was so obvious sometimes that he's not seen the same way that we see. Talking about myself, I can't include every other devotee.
Thank you.
But I can say one thing, those three qualities, though, that we mentioned before, that's also very good for our decision making, our guiding our heart, how to go on, to associate with those on the same path, the same ambition as ourselves, who are more experienced than ourselves and who are our well-wishers. Those three qualities, we get that association, then that is the very best. And then we will try to render service, continue to get their favor. Life is dynamic. Spiritual life is dynamic. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, I like very much those words. We are safe with Guru. That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful.
We are safe with Guru, and really the affectionate shelter. And they are giving us engagement, and they are keeping us engaged, and keeping us engaged in remembering the Lord and chanting. And we may think, oh, I've been doing this for years, but we may do it for, we hope we're going to do it forever, not just a few years. And there is nothing else in this world. And we've got devotee friends who've been in the temple for years, with us in the temple, and then for years. And then, due to the material world, then finally say, oh, I'm going to get married and do some business. They get married, do some business. They all have their realizations about the world. There's nothing there. Some of you know. Some of you know. Yes, Jivana must know, I think. Where's Jivana? Oh, you're there. Yes. I don't know if you remember Udaran Prabhu from England. He was a brahmachari with us for so many years. And in a very sober way, he decided, okay, I'm going to be married man. And he started a business and everything. But when he went into the material world, into the non-temple world, some things like struck him because he'd been in the temple. And one of them was, he had lots, we had some very good conversations, by the way. But one of them was that the people, they have no goal of life. They're only working to retire. And then when they retire, then they're just like thinking of the past and of their family. That's their whole thing. No goal, no purpose in their life. And he was struck like how shallow the whole world was, however dignified and meant to be. And Krishna looks after his devotees. He was a brahmachari. He had nothing. He started a business, the limousine business. No, not only a business, from nothing. So, oh, look at that. Krishna helps the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Sometimes you see some of these people like in the business world, these big CEOs and big people in these companies. And sometimes I think they're just like little kids. Krishna's just letting them play because they're making all these big plans and doing all these big things and creating, computers and networking like Zoom and so many things, but they don't even know who they are. And they're not even aware that they're racing towards death anyway. And like Udaran's saying, they just don't, that's like their goal. They say you have to have a passion. We have a passion to make this company great. And it just seems like almost like little kids being allowed to play. Krishna gives them all this and they get to do all these fun things and everything, but they're just spinning their wheels, kind of going nowhere.
Right. Hare Krishna. A dog trying to catch his tail. Hare Krishna. I'm not always reading back to Godhead, but we're happy to see some Back to Godhead magazines. And there was another article by Srila Prabhupada, and it was very Srila Prabhupada in the sense of he repeated 4 or 5 times about this body. We're all just serving this body or other bodies, which are only bags full of vomit and stool. So this is Srila Prabhupada. Shock treatment, bringing it home to us. But that's really, it's really, he's got it. It's what it is. Hare Krishna. And the thing is, Srila Prabhupada, he was aged and dignified and able to say many things, which I know we as young preachers, got ourselves into a bit of trouble trying to say what he said to the public. People don't take it from us as well as they do from him. Hare Krishna. But also, honestly, we can say, Srila Prabhupada, he had a sense of humor for sure, and his actual association is Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, and Srila Prabhupada. That was his association throughout his Gaudiya Math days. That's his association from the beginning of his life, devotional life, which of course, he was a devotee always. We see from his nature as a child, but coming in his pastimes, coming to Srila Saraswati Thakur and everything. Guru Maharaj was his close friend. That was, you see, again, association. Guru Maharaj is his close associate, the same path, senior to him, and his well-wisher. You see the chemistry coming together very beautifully. All right, so we've covered these simple discussion things today.
Maharaj, you have some devotees sending you dandavats. They are in the chat.
I do. Chat, click from Praneshwari to Rupa Vilas, who sends his dandavats too. Jai Rupa Vilas.
Before you have some, just below the Bhagavad Gita. Oh, because you were disconnected. Yes, you're right. Yes.
Different programs have their different strengths. And Zoom, unfortunately, we lose the chat entirely if it...
Yes.
At the end of a meeting.
There you are.
Gaurangi from, I've been thinking of her every day for the last few days. Gaurangi. So something is in the ether, and it's not that we're always thinking of Gaurangi, but I was thinking of her specifically these last few days. Gaurangi Riframek offers most humble obeisances. Please let Madhusudana Maharaj know and remind him of the oath and vow I didn't follow, but must be true to my word on 1st January Vyasa Puja. Okay.
Raja Bihari Das in London.
Oh, that's Raja Bihari. Okay.
Yeah, 3 different messages.
So the first is from Gaurangi.
The
very
very
first,
first?
Hari. So many one for memories, Parakama. Hare Krishna. Malad Hari, yes. And Raja Bihari in London. Okay, Raja Bihari room. 1st of January, Gurudev's Vyasa Puja. We can all make some New Year's resolutions and Srila Gurudev Vyasa Puja resolutions. Hare Krishna to each of the devotees. All right, so today a little bit of a chatty day in that sense, but actually Zoom is to be chatty and we're here for that. Happily. All right, Jai Re Prabhu, Chintamani Devi Rasi, Jivana, Deva Priya Didi, Ramananda Prabhu, Shakira, and to Praneshwari, and to all who, I saw, yes, you're recording this, to all who may join, may see later, then we appreciate very much. And actually, there are devotees, and I'm not sure, yes, back to basics also. There are devotees who, I'm surprised how much they do see the recordings. And so to all of you who do see the recordings, and also our appreciation, and we hope that we're all able to share and get some nourishment for us to know that more are there, present, if you like. And learning, understanding everything is not limited to the place as we see now, but it's not limited to the time too, as we kind of come to understand. And I'm also seeing programs which are, fully the wrong time. It's 1 a.m. our time, but still we're catching up. We're seeing that program, a little later, and it feels the same. And it feels, oh, yes, I'm there. And this is happening now. So not to ignore these opportunities to travel in space and time by Zoom. Jai Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakha Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga ki Jai. Vishwaranya Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. All the Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Brinda ki Jai. And all the Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda or the unlimited numbers of devotees ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. And all glories to each of you here and each of you who may see presently. Dandavat Pranam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat, dear devotees, see you very soon. And good to have you with us, Devapriya Didi, this week.
Dandavat, Dandavat Maharaj.
Dandavat, Dandavat. Hari Hari Bo.